Hi, this is Kevin Woodbury for Twin Suns Tutorials. Today I want to show you how to use manual exposure control. It's important if you want to get into creative photography to be able to control both your depth of field and your shutter speed. But truthfully, the starting place for any photograph, regardless of whether it's manual or otherwise, is deciding what's important to you for a given scene. Do you want control over the aperture, which gives you control over depth of field, or do you want control over the shutter speed, which gives you control over how motion will appear on film? So in this particular case, I want to be able to control my aperture. And I'm taking a picture of a doorknob, not very exciting, but I want to set my exposure so that I have an aperture of 2.8. So I'm going to change my aperture to 2.8. Now notice that my marker beneath the scale is now under the 2 on the right side of that center mark. Now anything to the right of that center mark is overexposed, anything to the left is underexposed. So in this particular case, if I shot this, I'm going to be 2 f-stops over the normal exposure. So to change that, and let's presume I want to stay at 2.8, I have to now change my shutter speed and bring that back to 0 on the meter. Okay, that's properly exposed. Now if I take a picture, you'll notice that I have shallow depth of field. The doorknob is somewhat in focus, but everything around it is not. But let's say I'm not really happy with that. I actually want more depth of field. So I can say I'm going to go and change my f-stop to 11. And notice as I do, that marker moves down towards the underexposed side of the scale. And in order to get a properly exposed image, now I have to take my shutter speed control and turn it so that I go back to 0. And now I'm properly exposed again. I take the picture, and now everything's sharp and clear. So the process of manually controlling exposure is nothing more than picking a number, whether it be your shutter speed or your aperture. In this case, I chose the aperture, and using the opposite control, in this case shutter speed, to zero out that meter.